Hi, it's Friday again. Happy Friday. Hope you're going to have a good weekend. So this week, what I want to talk to you about is wire transfers. And why you're thinking wire transfers, I'm not interested in this, and you just clicked me off and bye to you. But for those of you who stayed, thank you for staying, especially if you are going to become involved in a real estate transaction, or if you are currently involved in a real estate transaction and you haven't gone to closing yet. So wire transfers in real estate. For those of you who know me well, know that I have an extensive background in banking, and I remember back in the day, we used to issue certified checks, and I remember getting a little hole puncher and putting the hole through the account number, and then official checks, bank checks came along, and then wire transfers virtually replaced bank checks because they were just so instantaneous. So why does this matter to you? So I'm with Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage in Tenafly, best office, and we recently had a meeting, and our president, Hal Maxwell, came in, and of course, there was an agenda, but the first thing he started off with was a story about a wire transfer fraud, and I wanted to share the story with you because it's educational, really. So basically what happened was there was a buyer who was involved in a real estate transaction, and it was Monday morning, and their agent called them because it was the day of closing. Their agent called them all excited, good morning, happy closing day, calling you so we can get schedule the final walkthrough. And the buyer was like, what are you talking about? The closing was rescheduled for Wednesday. And the agent's like, I don't know anything about this. So she, they talked a little bit more, and then right away her antennas went up when the buyer said, I was told to wire money. So the real estate agent quickly got into action, and she reached out to the attorney, she reached out to the title agency to try and get to the bottom of who would have sent a buyer a request to wire money in the sum of about $280,000. So long story short, a fraudulent email came from the attorney. Somebody hacked into the system and sent an email that looked like it was from the attorney to the buyer with instructions to wire the money. So fortunately, there's a happy ending here. Fortunately, the email, from what I understand, was sent on a Friday, and the buyer didn't open the email or take action until Monday morning, which is what was fortunate here. So because the real estate agent got into action so quickly, and they made so many phone calls, and by the way, the FBI got involved as well, they were able to freeze the wire, and eventually, after everybody holding their collective breath for one business day, they were able to recover the money for the buyer. Had they not recovered that money, and this happens, unfortunately this happens, and in many cases the money is lost. Once that money is wired out and the receiving account is credited, it's gone. You're not going to get it back, because then it's all fraud. So they're taking the money and they're putting it here and they're putting it there. And in some cases, these are people's life savings. I mean, in this case, for this particular buyer, it was every dollar that they had, that they were investing into the dream of buying a home. So, I was thinking about the relationship that the real estate agent had with the attorney and with the title company and with the mortgage company. And, I just want to add that piece to this, the value that a real estate agent can bring, especially a real estate agent that's affiliated with Coldwell Banker, because we have strong relationships with our business partners. And when we, of course, we're always asked for recommendations. And when we recommend somebody from our mortgage company, or if we recommend, we give a couple of referrals for attorneys that we work with, the reason that we're doing that is, number one, because we know that they're efficient in what they do, and that they're ethical and they're professional, and they're very good at their job, but also because when a problem comes up, we can pick up a phone and we can help put fires out, or quickly react to something such as wire fraud. So I appreciate that our president, Hal Maxwell, came into our office, and that was the first thing on his agenda, to talk about this, because it's about caring about people and educating people and trying to help protect their money. So I just want to add that email, that fraudulent email that came from the attorney, from what I understand, in the email address, the word law, instead of LAW, they use LAVV. So it's always something that is just so minor that you really wouldn't notice unless you were looking for it. And also in this case, the buyer had been communicating so often with the attorney that they didn't think anything of it. They got an email from the attorney and they just reacted. So that's the message today. Be careful. But with anything that you open, we all know that you should never open anything that you don't recognize, because there's a lot of dishonest people out there trying to hack into your system. But if you are involved in a real estate transaction, or if you're about to enter into one, talk to your agent about wire transfer fraud, and make sure that you really understand, the dangers of wiring money out and the precautions that you should take. Because sometimes we do wire money. I'm not saying that we don't do that, but you just want to know the precautions that should be taken before you send your money out unknowingly to somebody who it doesn't belong to. So, all right, so this wasn't a happy video, but it was educational. I hope you got something out of it. And once again, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. And Lana is supposed to be here next week, so we'll see. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for watching.